guys, the What Are We Doing podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back and it's episode 73, okay? It's my first solo episode of the year and I'm feeling good. It's 2023, new year, new me. You know what I'm talking about? And so episode 73, new year, new me, episode 73. Here we are. And I can't thank you guys enough. I mean, first episode in the new year, episode 72 with Ken Cage. Ran the numbers up, running it up. If you haven't seen the episode with Ken Cage, check it out. It is on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and everywhere else you listen to this podcast. Speaking of listening to this podcast, you check it out on Good Pods. Check it out on iTunes. Check it out on Spotify. And if you don't know how to use those apps, all you have to do is go to wadpod.com/Spotify /YouTube, wadpod.com /Instagram. Follow us there, baby. You know what I'm talking about? So 72 is great. We can't thank Ken Cage enough for coming on again. We'll have him back again. We'll certainly have him back. We're trying to get Danny on. Danny has not responded to my text messages, but that's okay. I'm in a group chat with Ken Cage and Danny Thompson. It's 2023. This is what we're doing. You know what I mean? I'm finally answering the question. The first 2 years of this podcast, the question was, what are we doing? This year, I'm answering it. I'm in a group chat with Ken Cage and Danny Thompson. You know what I mean? There's only two of us talking in it because Danny hasn't responded yet, but we're still in the same group chat. You know what I mean? Not a brag. It's not that I have celebrity status now, okay? It's not that like, oh, Levi had one guy on the podcast that was on one TV, you know what I mean? He did this one thing. And, you know, now I'm like this number 2 podcast in the world. It's basically Call Her Daddy, What Are We Doing, Joe Rogan, and then whatever 12 podcasts Barstool Sports has. And then obviously everyone in the Do Better Network, they're on the list as well, top podcasts ever. You know what I mean? So it's fine. But dude, so everyone knows our love for Harry Potter, right? And who doesn't? Who doesn't love Harry Potter? Okay? If you don't love Harry Potter, you're either like someone crazy who thinks it's like demonic and it's like gonna send you and your children straight to hell because of the spells and like wizardry and like you actually believe in that shit and like you're not about it, you know, kind of thing, or like you just didn't grow up with it. I get it. Like some people aren't into movies, but whatever, it's fine. But most of us are, okay? Hence the reason it's like $1 billion property. And everyone knows, right? Everyone knows this kid's name is Ollivander, right? So my son's name is the wand maker, right? My dog, this useless loaf over here, his name's Loomis, the spell for light, Loomis Maximus, you know what I mean? So like the family is now integrated into the Harry Potter universe, right? Megs wanted these unique names. Megs wanted a unique name for our son so bad, and Megs didn't really like Harry Potter at the time. She didn't really know anything about it. We've introduced her since then, obviously. But Megs didn't know anything about it. And so when she was on Pinterest, we spent 3 to 4 months trying to come up with a name for this kid. And she was on Pinterest one day and she sends me like a group of like 10 screenshots. And it's like Josiah and like Basil and like, you know, Liquid and North and South and Kylie and Chloe. And like, it's all these like random unique names. And then at the end of the list, this one said Ollivander. And I said, hey, man, that's the name. And she said, what do you mean? Which one? I said, that one right there. His name will be Ollivander. Do you know why? And she said, no. What? Okay, I guess that's it. And I'm like, dude, it's HP. You know what I mean? Everyone knows HP. At the time, I had to explain it to her, but it's fine. She's up to date now. And then, of course, we got the dog, and we wanted to name the dog something unique, too. And it must have been that time of year. We were looking around. I don't know if I just Googled other Harry Potter names. But we got Loomis, and so now that's our dog's name, right? So it makes a lot of sense. We have a sign hanging on our front door that says Ollivander's Wand Shop. So, like, if you find it, that's where we live. But, it's, so we're fully invested now into the Harry Potter universe. And so, like, growing up, I watched every Harry Potter movie. My love for movies growing up was like, when I say it was kind of an obsession, would be maybe an understatement. My father, it was to the point where my father would buy me a portable, and this is probably this is the most money my father's ever spent on me. He would buy me a portable DVD player every year. Every year I would need a new portable DVD player. Because not because I broke them or they were bad, but like I used it so much that the batteries would they would stop charging and stop lasting. The readers would get burned out sometimes because I would just constantly be watching movies on it. It was to the point they had to buy me one every 6 to 9 months, a portable DVD player. And that portable DVD player, and I mean, this was 2002. This was like 2002 to 2005. And then around that time, 2005, 2006, like I think I got the first iPod Touch, so then that was a thing. And then as soon as we went digital, I got a ZUNE. In 2005 and 2006, I got the first ZUNE that you could put movies on, but the movies had to be in a certain format. So what I would do is I would pirate the movie. This is where my life as a pirate began. I would download the movies from online, and at that time, this wasn't like a big thing. Plex wasn't a thing. This was all brand new, kind of, at least to me it was. And at that time, there wasn't such thing as MP4s. No one knew what an MP4 was back then. They were all AVI files. If you know what an AVI file is, you know what I'm talking about. And so the AVI files, the ZUNE, the Microsoft ZUNE wouldn't play AVI files because they only took the proprietary Microsoft ZUNE video format, whatever that was at the time. I think it might have been, not sure what it was. Might have been MOV, I'm not sure. But so then I would have to download the movies as an AVI file, and then I would have to convert them into whatever format the ZUNE would take, and then put them on the ZUNE. Mind you, each one of these steps, there's only 3 steps. Download the movie, convert the file, upload it to the ZUNE. Each one of those steps took 9 hours. It took 9 hours because at the time, the internet, 2000, 2005, 2006-ish, you know what I mean? It was pretty much, we were getting out of dial-up, but we didn't have like Wi-Fi, or we had Wi-Fi, but it wasn't great. It wasn't the best. And so like we had to restart the router every 20 minutes because that's where we were at with Comcast at the time. And so it would take 9 hours just to download one movie. And then mind you, I have to convert that on hardware, the laptop that we had. And because my father and his cheap status, the laptop that we had at home was at the time what we called a netbook. And a netbook is just a little tiny, about 9 to 10 inch laptop. It wasn't much bigger than the portable DVD players I had years before, but it was a laptop. It had maybe 2 or 3 gigs of RAM in it, and it was just for checking your email and maybe doing a quick Google search. It was in no way intended to be downloading movies, then converting them for 3 hours straight, and then uploading them onto a portable media player. That's not what this thing was built for, but I was pushing that chick to the limits, okay? And it would take 9 hours to download on my dad's little 9-inch netbook laptop, and then I would have to use the free converting program that I might have also pirated but might have found for free somewhere, and use that. And so an hour and a half movie converting into a different format at the time took hour and a half, maybe 2, maybe 3 hours. So that was a whole nother day long process. And guess what? If someone needed to use the computer, we had to shut that down and we had to start over once they were done using it. So sometimes it took multiple days to convert. Then we had to get that big ass file onto the ZUNE. And transferring music onto the ZUNE at the time is easy because it's 5 to 10 megabytes, for an MP3, but it's like 5 to 10 gigs for a movie, right? And so that took another 3 to 4 hours. And if the cable disconnected or if the ZUNE fell asleep or something happened, there were all these contingencies back then that technology wasn't ready for, that we were using it. I mean, I was on the road. I had my movies everywhere with me all the time. So needless to say, back when I had, all these Harry Potter movies, it also came with a binder of DVDs, right? And this is what my father would do. My father would raid the $2, the $3, the $5 DVD bins at Walmart. They still have them today, and I do it as well. I get it from him. Obviously, I'm my father's son. And so I do it as well, but I don't do the second part. He would then take each of the DVDs that he purchased for $1, $2, $3 at the time, and then he would individually wrap each one. And so come our birthdays or Christmas or whatever event required him to actually buy us something as a gift, he would wrap each DVD as a single gift and be like, look, I got you 38 gifts this year. I got you like 47 gifts because 27 of them, now that math adds up, 27 of them are individually wrapped DVDs that he only paid $14.93 for. You know what I mean? So I had a shit ton of movies, everything from like The Count of Monte Cristo to Men in Black, to Harry Potter's, to Lord of the Rings, to adult movies, to kids movies, you name it. Whatever was in the $2 DVD bin at Walmart, that's what my father filled my collection with. And among those DVDs were Harry Potter. And maybe something else that, they did for me. My stepmother, the witch that she is, took me to see Harry Potter every year. That when the movies came out, it was like around Christmas time, so it was a part of my Christmas gift. Of course, she would take me to the theater and we'd go to see Harry Potter. That lasted for like the first 5 or 6 films, and I think I got old enough to just go by myself and not with her. So I had an okay upbringing, but fuck them anyways. You know what I mean? And like Megs and I are attempting to watch the whole series now. So I'm obsessed with movies, obsessed with the DVDs, obsessed with the Harry Potter universe. And now we've never been to Harry Potter World. I've been to Disney, Orlando, all that area once. Senior trip, the boxing incident, you know what went down. Harry Potter World wasn't open yet. It was like a day away from being open and they wouldn't let us in. We thought maybe they would because it was like senior week there. They thought they were going to give us like a sneak peek, but they didn't, unfortunately. And so we missed it. But we plan on going back. We might be going with some friends in the near future, but we're definitely hitting Harry Potter World at Universal. That's definitely on the list. And then once he's older and can experience it, we'll obviously take him for sure. He'll need to pick out his own wand, of course. And so, the movies. And so but let's be honest, the Harry Potter prequels weren't that great. Okay. The Harry Potter prequels weren't great. And no one really watched them. The Fantastic Beasts series, they were supposed to do 5. I think they only did 3. And it was weird because half the cast was going through legal issues with Ezra Miller breaking into people's houses and Johnny Depp and everything that happened with him. Obviously, Johnny was right. And Disney owes him like $1 trillion. They should just make him CEO, I think, personally. But it's a conversation for another day. And now like HBO, I think Warner Brothers says they're rebooting it. we're rebooting Harry Potter. I think we're getting an all new movie series with a new cast and a new story. And I think we might be getting an HBO TV show. So that'll be interesting. Not sure how I feel about it. You're probably going to fudge up the original, right? Like, let's just maybe, I don't know. But it's $1 billion. If you had the chance to make $1 billion, you'd be making Harry Potter movies every year. I don't know why they're not making a new Harry Potter movie every year. Here's the thing that sucks for me about the Harry Potter universe. I've never read the books, okay? We all know, we've heard the stories on the podcast. I have like a 3rd to 4th grade reading level. Miss Talby almost flunked me in English class because I could literally not mentally get through the book of Mice and Men. She showed me the movie, I passed the test. You know what I mean? It makes sense. My ADHD at the time didn't actually physically let me turn the page and read what's on it and then comprehend what was on that page in order to get to the next page. By the time I got to the next page of the book, I completely forgot and don't really know what happened on the first page, let alone what's going on this page. And that pattern just continues. And that's just why I've read one book in my life. I've read Inside Out by Terry Trueman. Don't ask me why. I guess it's because how it was written, but I got through that book, and that's the only book I've ever read. I've tried reading Harry Potter, and so what I've been told, I just can't get through it. You know what I mean? I can't get through the books. I'm a movie watcher, not a book reader, okay? Somehow the education system failed me. But let's be honest, my high school experience and like thereafter might as well been Hogwarts. Okay. So after I got done being bullied in middle school, I decided to go to tech for high school. And for those of you who don't know, tech is a school where you can go and instead of doing like normal classes like Algebra 2 and like applied sciences and geography and like world history and like quantum theory and like all this shit that gets you ready for college, tech, you kind of do some of that, but it's like 1 + 1 = 2 math and like English 101. And then but that's only half the time. And then the other half the time you do a trade. So you're either like making a magazine or like baking cookies. So I somehow convinced my parents to let me go to tech for high school. And so I went to the basic math classes. I did 1 + 1 = 2. I did all the English stuff. That was easy. And that was only 40% of my time. The other 60% of my time was spent doing student council because that got me out of the regular classes and my shop, which was baking and pastry. So while I was busy making cookies, Rice Krispie treats, soft rolled dough for, your Thanksgiving meal. We made freaking sweet rolls for your meal. We would hand them out. We would give them to people for Thanksgiving. The staff would buy them. Like we would decorate cakes. We would make brownies for the cafeteria. We would make sticky buns, cinnamon rolls. Every day in high school, I started my day by making a new pastry item in a professional grade kitchen. Instead of going to Algebra 2 like all of you guys were doing, I was going and baking a full freaking tray of Rice Krispie treats. Instead of studying for the SATs and taking prep courses, I was busy decorating a Mickey Mouse cake for the cake show next weekend. Okay? Instead of doing literally anything you're supposed to do in high school, these people somehow let me and a few of my friends, well, not few, but like a bunch of my friends, and they're still doing it to this day. They still let them do it. People I know are there. They will take you out of a normal like I was supposed to go to Northeastern. I was supposed to get a half a ride scholarship like my sister. I was supposed to get her education and go to a real college, but I went to tech. They somehow let me go to a school, and instead of learning about like world history and, how things work and science and geography and all that shit, I was busy baking bread. I was busy rolling the dough, flinging it around, making it a circle, rolling it up, slabbing butter on just a sheet of raw dough, sprinkling freaking Salt Bay You thought Salt Bay was a thing, bitch? I was sprinkling cinnamon and sugar on freaking raw dough with butter, rolling it up and making a fucking log of a cinnamon bun sticky roll that then we put in a sheet and we put friggin' molasses and nuts and shit all over that and we throw it back in the oven and you got a homemade fresh sticky bun out the oven. But you guys were off, learning what? Algebraic equations and, quantum theories and getting ready for lecture halls in college. So then once I got done baking cookies and being homecoming king, because I did card tricks all my life, I then went to art school for college. So naturally, nothing to see here. I sat in class, we sat on the computer. As long as you breathed in Ron Ross's class, you got an A+, baby. So that was a whiz by. I went to that school because I needed a website for my magic career that no longer exists. You know what I mean? But now I own the business. So it kind of worked out. So the education system failed me. my 12th grade math class. Listen to this. I was a senior in high school and my 12th grade math class was probability. We were supposed to be learning probability. What's the percentage of rolling a 1 on a 6-sided dice? I don't know, because we didn't learn that. The teacher said, here's a deck of cards. The teacher said to me at the time, here's a deck of cards. Oh my God, what a wet dream. Here's a deck of cards, learn about probability. And then the teacher sat there and played solitary on his laptop for an hour and a half while we did whatever we wanted. Some kids left, some kids were texting, some kids were on the laptop watching porn, some kids were playing games on the laptop, some of us were playing with the cards, some of us were actually doing work. There were 2 nerds in the class that were actually writing, doing whatever was in the book or whatever. I don't know. It was a free-for-all while all the other people back at my home school are playing sports and getting scholarships and getting ready to go to prestigious colleges and have careers and do all this stuff. Meanwhile, I got a dozen cookies in the oven. So now that I can't read, no one ever, and through all of that college, I can't read. And so I've discovered Audible. And so if we remember after all those ADHD rants, we're talking about Harry Potter. And so I've been told that the Harry Potter audibles are some of the best things that you can listen to. If you want to get into audiobooks, you have to get into Harry Potter. So in 2023, I signed up for Audible sponsorship, maybe or maybe not, coming soon. Okay, we're going to talk to Amazon maybe. And so Audible, so I'm listening to these Harry Potter books all year. I started with number 1, number 2, Chamber of Secrets. Then I listened to number 3, Prisoner of Azkaban. Now I'm on Harry Potter book number 4, The Goblet of Fire. That's what it's called, right? Yeah. I'm on Harry Potter book number 4. And when I was growing up, obviously my aunts and people would tell me oh yeah, you got to read the books. Cause I would always talk about being obsessed with the movies. Everyone always says you have to read the books because they leave a lot out of the movies. The dog. Can someone get the dog? Luba. Come here. Because they leave a lot out of the movies, all the details and some of the conversations and the characters and how they act and what they do and even some events. They leave stuff, they change stuff from the source material to the movies because either it doesn't translate on the big screen, what have you. This happens all the time, right? The books don't always necessarily match up with the movies. It's a retelling of the book. And so I've never been able to experience those other conversations or to see how those things change and see how they translate from the books to the big screen. And when I got to the 4th Harry Potter book, The Goblet of Fire, I knew from the movies that some things happened, but I wasn't I wasn't ready when I heard this part of the book. I wasn't ready for this because they definitely didn't. This part was definitely not in the movies. Like, I went back this weekend and I watched the movie again, The Goblet of Fire. This wasn't in it. And so obviously, like, this is old news. Like, this audiobook has been out, right? I'm assuming. So people have heard it. So, I mean, it's interesting to me, and I wanna share it with you guys because I think it's just one of those things that I didn't know this was in the Harry Potter series.
My penis was oscillating between extremely sensitive and borderline traumatized. The last place I wanted to be was Frostnipistan. I'd been trying some home remedies, including one recommended by a friend. She'd urged me to apply Elizabeth Arden cream. My mum used that on her lips. You want me to put that on my todger? It works, Harry, trust me. I found a tube, and the minute I opened it, the smell transported me through time. I felt as if my mother was right there in the room. Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
Okay. So clearly what's happening here is Hermione gave Harry Potter the old ration dash down there. You know what I mean? Kind of enough. And so she needs to now they need to apply some ointment, presumably giving Harry a little bit of a handy in the Gryffindor common room. So Prince Harry's book is out, obviously. His book is out, and boy, it's a tell-all and it's a doozy. Okay, I don't think anyone listening to this would have read the book, so I'm going to tell you all about it. He's confessing to a lot of shit. A lot of stuff went down in the life of Prince Harry, okay? The biggest story coming out of this is his story of how he loses his virginity. He, and these are his words, not mine, mounted her in a field behind a pub out in the open, and she referred to him as a young stallion, and then I think spanked his ass when they were done. It was a real riveting experience. And now, like, people are trying to figure out who this woman was. Like, everyone wants to know now. Cool, like, you're a weirdo, right? We get it. You're a freak, okay? You lost your virginity behind a bar, just out in the middle of a field, to some older woman. It's an older woman. And now we're like, okay, you're weird, we get it, but like, we need to know who it was. Like, we need the full spectrum of the story now because, Harry, it's 2023, we need to know. And so eager readers are itching to know who Prince Harry mounted behind a pub one fateful night to lose his virginity at 17 years old, with one reputed ex-lover refusing to confirm the claims. In the Duke of Sussex's bombshell book Spare, which leaked ahead of its Tuesday release, he describes an amateur sexual encounter as humiliating. He even includes intimate details about his unnamed older horse-loving partner who rode him like a stallion and spanked him. I mounted her quickly, after which she spanked my ass and sent me on my way, he wrote in the book. Maybe we should have cut that part out. You know what I mean? And so there's been like other revelations of the book, some other things that happened, dude. Insane. Let's see. What are some other things that happened here? Oh, he admits that, so his wife, Megan, she's a failed actress. She was in the TV show Suits, and she couldn't get anything after that. Apparently there's a sex scene, that includes Megan in the show. And, Harry claims in the book, after Googling Meghan Markle's sex scenes from Suits, he says he needs electric shock therapy to get them out of his head. It's just, he admitted to using cocaine as a teenager because why not? Okay, you're locked up in a castle all your life. Get me cocaine. I'm going to do it in the castle. It's going to be fun. It's going to be grand. The book's disgusting. I don't understand. And he also confesses he once believed that his mother, Princess Diana, had faked her death to escape the press. Well, I mean, the press killed her. Look it up. We know the truth. Okay, we know who killed Diana, but it's not good. The book's not good. But at least Meghan won, you know? Meghan Markle, she's the real MVP. She's the real MVP. She failed on suit. She had nothing left, and she decided to pluck this boy right from the palace he was doing cocaine in. And then with one Oprah interview, and then boom, bam, the Queen's death just to boost ratings a little bit more. We've got Netflix deals, the book deal, and everything else going on. The book deal was $35 million. Harry got $35 million to tell everyone about his virginity losing horse lover, older of a girlfriend at 17-year-old behind a pub in a field for $35 million. They got 17 when they landed and 17 when the book went to publish. I mean, it was insane. They won. So, but here we are, dude. It's the first week of January and, it's the second week now. Second week of January. But in the first week of January, I was hit with 2 different lawsuits. I'm being sued by 2 different entities. One I can't really talk about because we're probably going to court. And the other one I can talk about, and it's our good friends, It Doesn't Quit in 2023, the HOA, dude. The HOA is taking me to court. I got served. We had to sign for the papers at the front door. I open it up and it says, Civil Action Hearing Notice, the HOA versus Levi McCurdy. Here we go. We're starting the year off with a bang. Okay? So I've been served. I'm doing court Friday, January 27th. I'm doing court in 2 weeks. This is the HOA. Listen, the HOA has done nothing that they say they do. There's rotting pumpkins out front. I just got a notice because I didn't take my trash cans in till Thursday. For good reason, by the way. I didn't take my trash cans in till Thursday. Trash comes on Wednesday. You're supposed to take them in Wednesday night. I took them in Thursday morning. Why? Because my neighbors had 2 ginormous unmarked working vans parked in their spots with carpet and hardwood floor and trash and debris and power tools and this and that. Doors open, everything's going on. There's stuff in the front yard blocking my path to take back my trash cans. So I left them there. The workers on the neighbor's house weren't gone till late in the night. I wasn't going out at 10, 11 o'clock to take my trash cans back because I didn't want to. I was tired. I was going to do it the next morning when I took my son to school. But in that time, one of the other neighbors in the neighborhood had the time, the skill set, and the fucking audacity to take out their camera phone and shoot a picture of my trash bins still out on a Wednesday, still out on a Thursday, and I got a notice from the HOA alongside my lawsuit. This is completely separate from the lawsuit, by the way. Alongside the lawsuit, I'm getting notices because my trash bins weren't taken in a timely manner. So I wrote back because I got this email, right? I wrote back. It said, "Dear homeowner, please review this," and it says, "Levi McCurdy, it's come to our attention that it was noted that at your house on Melbourne Lane, the trash containers were not brought inside or stored properly after trash pickup. The violation of Rule Regulation Number 8, which states no garbage or trash or containers therefore are visible in the exterior of the units except on the day that was extinguished of collection and the removal of the garbage and the trash." So if I don't bring in my trash cans, which I've already done, because I'm not a monster, okay? If I didn't bring them in, it was going to be a $50 fine. So I responded to Jessica, who sent this lovely notice, and I said, "Jessica, I wasn't able to get my bins inside yesterday because my neighbors had 2 unmarked, very sketchy-looking work vans alongside carpet, debris, trash, power tools, and other items in the front yard as well as down the sidewalk. Due to new hardwood floors getting put in, I can imagine. It was wonderful hearing that through the walls all day as my son couldn't even take a nap with the pounding of the hammers was extremely overwhelming. Nonetheless, as they finished well into the night, I placed my trash cans back where they belonged around 8 a.m. Thursday morning. Calm down and Happy New Year, Levi." And so I'm done. I got to call and figure out what I'm doing here. We're not even sure. Listen, my HOA fees were supposed to come out of my account automatically. Okay. I set it up on my credit card. So we get the points, we pay it back. It's credit. It's a system. My HOA fees are supposed to come out of a credit card. That credit card expired. Okay. Now the HOA has a shit system where they don't tell you if the things went through or if they didn't go through or thank you for your payment or whatever. I don't get any of that. So when I assume that the payments are going through, I assume it's taken care of. But then when the credit card expires, I forgot. Sorry, it's technically my fault. But I was behind on 4 months of HOA payments. People, we're talking $400. $400. Not $4,000, not $40,000, $400. Like, they're... And so now instead of a phone call that says, hey, Mr. McCurdy, something's wrong with your payment. You owe us $400. If we don't get this resolved by the end of the day, we're unfortunately going to have to file a small claims court here, whatever, blah, blah, we're going to take you to court. And then I would happily pay. I would happily solve the problem. But I didn't get a phone call. I didn't get a voicemail. I didn't get an email like I just did. I can get an email about my trash bins. I can get an email about my nosy neighbors taking photos of my trash bins. But I didn't get an email saying, hey, we're going to take you to court if you don't pay. Maybe send me a courtesy that way instead of serving me with certified freaking papers. Now I'm worried I'm going to jail first week of January. Let's be honest. I think we have bigger problems. I think we have bigger fish to fry. I think there's bigger things going on than my lawsuit with the HOA, which we'll win, by the way. There are bigger things going on in this country that need to be addressed. The Mars Candy Company has done something so atrocious. They have crossed the line. They've made it so that I would say at least 50% of the population will probably stop buying their products. I mean, M&Ms have made the bold move to remove all of the male characters from their packaging. Now, ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your taste buds because M&M's is making a bold statement with their latest candy pack. The all-female pack includes purple, brown, green, the candies trios, okay. Let me stop you right there, folks. I'm going to be honest with you. This year at the Do Better Network, we hired a copywriter, and sometimes, the job of the copywriter, sometimes they get a little into it and they get a little over the top. Their job is to basically take these articles from CNN, TMZ, wherever we find them, and rewrite them so it sounds like me. Because what I'm tired of doing is reading like someone else's work. So we're going to reword it, re-get the facts, and make it our own. So it's a little bit more of original content. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to make it sound like me. So when I say things like, ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your taste buds, that's not me. That's the writer. We're probably going to fire him. But it's fine. So hold on to your taste buds. That needs to be on a shirt immediately. Introducing Purple, the newest addition and official spokes candy, who is a purple peanut M&M. She's a singer who prefers laced up boots over heels and has a quirky, confident personality that'll knock your socks off. So basically, we've turned Lizzo into an M&M. The M&M's brand is on a mission to use the power of fun to create purposeful connections as they work to create a world where everyone feels they belong, says Gabrielle Weasley, Chief Marketing Officer at the Mars Wrigley North America Company. And the best part, a portion of the profits of this all-female pack of M&Ms will go to organizations that are uplifting and empowering women, including She Is the Music and We Are Moving the Needle, nonprofit organizations that support women in the music industry. So go ahead, grab a pack of these badass canned ladies. Get it? Candies. These badass candies. It's canned ladies. And flip the status quo with every bite. So that's the marketing thing. They're flipping the status quo. The female M&Ms are upside down on the pack. We're flipping the status quo, and we're not letting the men take over. You know what I'm saying? I think after reading that, I'm about it and I'm flipping my position. We might be on board with the all women packs here. Okay. And you know what I mean? Listen, here's the issue. A lot of men are upset. A lot of men are upset right now. And I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence because I have a very strong, independent, powerful, and loving fiance of a woman here in my life. And I mean, she's all about the female pack M&Ms. When I told her about this, she said, good, it should be permanent. We don't need any man M&Ms on the packages. You know what I mean? So I might be a baby boy bitch and buy a bag. I might buy a bag of all female M&Ms and, bend the knee to the female army of the all female M&Ms. I haven't decided yet. Listen, this is a cultural issue. We need to talk about it. We have to report on this. We have to. If we don't report on things like this, what does that say about our culture? What does that say about the world that we've created for our children if we can't openly talk about the fact that we need an all-female pack of M&Ms? But there's some people out there like Nick Adams who disagree. So he thinks otherwise.
Any male that buys a packet of M&Ms from today forward must hand in their man card because they are a soft, woke, beta male feminist who has serious problems. Until M&Ms rectify this grave wrong by giving us all male M&Ms, this boycott will remain. We will not stand for this at all. M&Ms?
Step on them. Smashes them. You know what I mean? So I want to know in the comments what side you're on. Will you be boycotting M&Ms or will you be buying an all-female pack of M&Ms? I'm going to assume that probably 99% of our audience is going to straight up boycott. I might be wrong. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Tag me in photos of you buying all-female M&Ms at the grocery store. Do it. Do it. No bought. Do it. You won't. You won't. You won't go to the grocery store right now and buy an all-female pack of M&Ms. I'll wait. I'll wait right here. You won't do it. I guarantee it. You won't risk that man card. Risk your man card right now and go buy an all-female pack by M&M's, not sponsored. Listen, Megs and I went to lunch the other day. We had a weekend off from the boy. He was at his aunt's house, and it was a thrill ride, okay? We went to lunch. We went to kind of somewhere. It was nice. It was a little lunch spot. It was in Hershey. It was a little bar, restaurant, whatever. They had garlic aioli fries. They were banging. We got some tacos. We got some spaghetti. It was really good. It was all homemade. It was a really good lunch. And while we were there, at the same time when we walked in, it was this woman, mom's age, 55, 60, whatever, maybe 45. She was 50 years old. She was there with her mother, who was clearly elderly. She was in like her 80, 85-year-old, right? And so it was this mom, older mom, with her mother, with grandma. It looked like grandma might not make it till Christmas. Grandma clearly is on a day out from the home because as soon as they sit down at the bar, right, they both order a glass of wine. And so what does the mother do? The mother, who's supposed to be out with her mother, is supposed to be paying attention, asking her how her day's going, what's going on, how's your life, what's up, how are you? But instead, she's doing a crossword puzzle. So the younger lady's doing a crossword puzzle. Now that gives grandma the opportunity to do a few things. Grandma's fresh out the home, which means she hasn't had a sip of alcohol in probably 3 to 6, maybe 12 months. So she downs her wine. Megs and I watched this 85-year-old woman chug a glass of wine at lunch, okay? It was one of the most fantastic things I've ever seen. Then the bartender is making more drinks for other people at the bar, right? She's kicked a bottle. It's a bottle of bourbon or something. She's kicked a bottle. She leaves it on top of the bar right in front of grandma. And what does grandma do next but not grab that bottle and try to pour whatever's in it in her cup before the bartender turns back around and notices. I swear to God, everything that has come out of my mouth this episode is 100% true. Listen, the people so her mom catches her. Her mom no, Mom, you can't do that. She puts the bottle back down. And so her mom then just looks all distraught, like I wasn't doing it. She was literally, she has 2 days left and she is just trying to get as much alcohol into her system as she can. So younger mom goes back to doing her crossword puzzle and she gives her mom a little bit of her wine because she hasn't finished it yet. So grandma's got a little topper off. She chugs that. Not 5 minutes later, their food comes out, whatever. The bartender does it again. The bartender kicks another bottle. So whatever. I don't know what it was this time. I think it might have been vodka. She kicks another bottle, puts it in front of Grandma again, and wouldn't you fucking guess it, Grandma takes the empty bottle and attempts to pour it in her glass again. She tries to get more out of the empty bottle again without the bartender was turned around. She couldn't see her. This grandmother, fresh out the home, was ruthless. And that's exactly the type of parents that Megs and I decided we're going to be. That if in one time Ollivander will put us in a home, and when he comes to take us out for lunch, we will do our damnedest to get as much alcohol into our system as possible, because we know as soon as we go back to Country Meadows, it's probably going to be 9 to 18 months before we ever see his ass again, and before they're ever going to have an event where they serve any type of champagne or maybe one little glass of wine or whatever the sparkly bubbly is. And there's no way we're getting liquor into Country Meadows. They check our rooms every week. So we can't wait till we're 85 years old and trying to sneak drinks from the bar at the bartender. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the What Are We Doing podcast, my first solo episode of the new year. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me. It's been a blast. We had Ken Cage on next week. If you haven't seen that interview yet, go check it out. We learned all about how he steals airplanes from rich people who don't pay their bills, aka he's an airplane repo man. It's a blast. Go watch it. wadpod.com/YouTube. If you haven't joined our Patreon yet, what are you doing? You need to go to patreon.com/whatarewedoing, and it's everything happening over there. We've got a $1 subscription. It only costs $1. That's 13 Netflixes. Okay. You get our bonus episodes every week, the Better Call Paul episodes, anything that we upload there. These episodes early. If you sign up for the bigger tiers, Q&A, other stuff like that, we're going to get more interviews, more guests over there as soon as that community builds, and we're going to keep on posting. I can't wait to see what 2023 has to bring. I just was on the phone with Carlos the other day, and he's like, yo, man, we got it. We're coming up on a year. We got to do another episode. So we're probably going to have Carlos sitting either here or there, right there, over there, very, very soon. So look out for that. The Do Better Network has essentially launched. And if you know, you know, and if you're a part of it, you are. The public link and the public announcement will be coming soon. We have the website. We're just trying to build it up with some content and some episodes and get some back catalogs on there and some other podcasts signed up. We have other blog posts and resources coming. I've been writing like a madman on that blog, like ways to improve, ways to monetize, ways to grow, ways to get your audience, ways to start a podcast, things and resources for the people who want to start. Maybe you just started, maybe you're on episode 100. It doesn't matter. You will find something on there that will benefit your show. So that is all coming soon. We can't wait to build that out even more. Paul and I have some amazing ideas coming soon for that and some other things down the pipeline. So by all means, be on the lookout for DBN. I've already said too much. They're probably going to yell at me for saying that. Hopefully, if you find it, you find it, and we'll see you on the other side. I'll have an announcement video separate coming soon, all about DBN. But thank you guys so much for rocking with me. This is another episode of the What Are We Doing podcast. wadpod.com/links is everything you need to find this podcast. Join our VIP club, watch it, listen, share it with your friends. Sharing is caring, and guess what? It's also free. So support your friends in 2023 the free way. You know what I mean? It rhymes. We didn't mean it to, but I said it, and now we're rolling with it. 2023, share for free. Hit share wherever you're listening to this episode. Hit like, subscribe on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. My name's Levi McCurdy. Peace out, everybody. This is the What Are We Doing podcast.